Hey everybody, welcome to my live chat. I'm Lisa and this is Southworth Saturday. No, no, it's not. It's obviously not Lisa and this is not Southworth Saturday. Um, you all know me, I'm Dan. Lisa and Peggy aren't able to do Southworth Saturday today. So I was like, I'm going to hijack their slot. I'm going to take prime time tarot slot on a Saturday afternoon, Saturday morning slot. So I thought I would jump on, and I'm not even going to attempt to um, fill Lisa's shoes. I'm just going to talk about a few things. First of all, though, how amazing was that interview over on the Hermit's Cave channel? Simon interviewed Dustin from Modern Metaphysical Man. Such an amazing interview. I was like all over it. I didn't get involved in the comments because I was prepping because I go back to work tomorrow. But all the stuff that Dustin was talking about, so on point. It was an amazing interview. I already subscribed to Dustin's channel anyway, and the stuff that he comes out with, I'm always like, yes, Queen, yes, that is on point. So I love watching his channel. He's a great YouTuber, and hopefully I can be as good as him one day. But yeah, it was a brilliant interview, Simon. So thank you so much for that. It was so informative and open, and it was great. So yeah, so as I said, I've decided to hijack Lisa's slot as she's not available today. I haven't got much planned. I wrote a few notes of what I wanted to talk about. I've got a few books to show you. I did a little bit of shopping yesterday. And I already had another book that I've not spoken about yet. So I was going to show some books that I've bought, some witchy, some fiction. We can talk about tarot, and also as the title suggests, there's going to be some ghosty chats. I think I've mentioned this before, but I am super into what's termed as the paranormal. I just think it's normal, ghosts are normal. So I thought we'd talk about that, and I'll give you an update on some experiences that have been happening in the apartment recently, which is quite cool. So Naomi's saying that she's having issues with the picture and the sound. Can you all let me know whether my picture and my sound is okay? Are you all receiving it? Are you all having issues, or is it just Naomi that's having issues? I really hope my internet's not playing up again. So it's come back for Naomi. Simon says it's crystal clear for him. Joanne said it's all good there. Okay, so I think it was probably just Naomi's having a few issues and a few teething problems. Buffered a couple of times. Okay, perfect. Right, so shall we get started on a box set? Oh, Becca's here. Hi, Becca. Oh yeah, I've not said hello to anyone. Sorry, that was the introduction. I'm so unprepared. That was the introduction. Welcome to my channel. Super professional YouTuber here. Knows what he's doing. Clearly not. Let's go and say hello to who we've got in the room. So we've got Selkie. Hello, Selkie. We've got Robin. We've got Joanne. We've got Simon. We've got Jen from Jen's Balanced Tarot. Hello. We've got Naomi. Hello. We have Becca. Hi, Becca. Oh, the Psychic Knitter. Hello, the Psychic Knitter. I don't think I know what what your given name is. I'm rubbish. I honestly don't remember people's names. Like, I remember very few people's names when it comes to associating the name with their channel name. I'm terrible. I don't write them down. I know Becca writes them down to remember. I don't. I should do, and I forget. So if I don't know your name, I'm really sorry. So yeah, shall we start with my little tiny book haul? Do you want to see those? I'm drinking sherry as well because I've got to be back at work tomorrow. I've got to get up at 3:15. Carola, hello, Carola. You're new to the scene. Well, welcome to this wonderful scene. I feel you're going to be really disappointed by coming into my live. I'm not as professional as other YouTubers like Simon or Becca or Dustin, or there's a whole plethora of Witchy Tower YouTubers that are so much more professional than me. I will try and live up to your expectations as someone who's new to the scene. But yeah, we're a nice bunch of people. We are definitely a nice bunch of people. I've had the privilege to meet a few people in real life. I've met Simon, I met Becca, I've met Callie Bear, I have met, who else have I met? I can't remember now. Sure, there's one more. But yeah, I talked to some of the people from the YouTube community outside of YouTube with Glide and things like that, and we're a lovely community. You're going to feel really at home. Oh, so Salky's asked a question. Do I like my job? My job is interesting, to say the least. I've had a week off work, which has been lovely, and I am not dreading going back to work tomorrow, but normally I get up at 3:30 because my shift starts at 5:30. However, with the weather, it's going to be -3 in the northwest overnight, and I live in the foothills of the Peak District, so the foothills of the Pennines. So I'm going to have to give myself a good 10 minutes to defrost the car before I'm able to leave the house. So normally I leave the house at 4 o'clock. That gets me to the airport car park at 4:30. Then I have to catch the staff bus from the airport car park to the actual airport, which takes another 15 to 20 minutes, so I can start for 5:30. So yeah, 3:15, the alarm is set for. So after this live, I've got to make some dinner, have a shower, and get into my bed, which is all nicely made up. So Psychic Knitter is going to come to the 2020 UK Tarot meetup, so she might meet some of us there. I still need to sort myself out for that. I wasn't even going to think about it till after Christmas, or the Christmas period, should I say, the holiday period. I wasn't going to think about it until after Christmas. But yes, Alki, my job is going okay. I'm fully qualified now, well, mostly fully qualified in my role. So things are starting to settle down at work. So yeah, but yeah, Simon, I know I will pull my finger out regarding making arrangements. Simon, should I do that announcement now, or should I do it at the end? Jen, worst case scenario is I will if the accommodation is like running low and there's no hotels, I will find a local campsite and come down and sleep in a tent. You know, I've got no issues in camping nearby. In fact, we should camp. We should camp. We should have a campsite and a fire and dance around the fire, playing drums. Oh, and getting drunk. That'd be amazing. That would be amazing. Anyway, sorry, I'm digressing. Oh, see, the notes. I have 3 notes written down, which are witchy stuff, tarot stuff, ghosty stuff, and books. But I didn't write the books down because they're there. So yeah, right. Focus. Quick announcement to make for all of you who are here. I am very, very lucky to finally have got a date to be interviewed by our lovely Simon over at the Hermit's Cave. We finally managed to sync our calendars and our diaries, and I have got a slot which will be on the 14th of December. So Saturday the 14th of December, I'm going to be interviewed by Simon over at the Hermit's Cave. We've been saying it for a good year that we need to get this done, but with one thing and another and all that type of stuff, it's never happened. So we've now finally got it pinned down to a date. So the week before Yule, I will be interviewed by Simon in 2 weeks today. So that's super exciting. So I can't wait for that. I know he's going to come out with some amazing questions, and that's going to be great. So that's really good. Avalon campsite is the best. I'll have to look at that, Salky. But like I said, I'm not even going to worry about it till after the holiday period is over. Right, let's start to go through my list. Well, let's not even start my list because I've got stuff to start with first over there. So I would like to show you a few books that I bought recently. So a few books I want to talk to you about. I popped into The Works yesterday, which, as you all might be aware from any of my previous videos, is a discount bookshop in the UK. They have a really good metaphysical section in there, and you can get some really amazing bargains. I got the Crystal Bible, the Tarot Bible, the Wicca Bible, the Spell Bible from there, and they were like reduced like £5 each. Now, going back a while, almost a year ago, in one of my videos, we talked about something called a witch's ladder. And I said I didn't know much about them, and I'd heard them mentioned on someone else's channel. I think it was, in fact, I can't remember which channel it was. But another channel talked about it about a year ago, and I saw this book in the works. So I picked it up, and the book is titled Witches, Ladders, and Other Not Spells. It should have been $14.99, and it was reduced to £5. It says here, cast powerful spells using witches, ladders, and magical knots. And it is written by a lady called Sarah Bartlett. I've had a flick through it, and it looks really, really good. So in here, it's got a load of sections about loads of different spells incorporating love, family and friends, career and lifestyle, prosperity and abundance, protection and spiritual healing, travel and adventure spells. And then the last section is called the Knot Directory. Now, I had a look at this, and it basically is a step-by-step guide of how to do all the knots that they talk about in the book. So you've got the Knot Directory, and it goes through showing you how to do things like the monkey braid, the Celtic knot, the figure of 8 braid, the reef knot. And I was just like, this is amazing. I've never used rope or knot work in any of my spell work before. And I was like, do you know what? Why let's have a go. See how we find this. So for the sake of £5, I was like, this is a bargain. I'm going to devour this book because it's aspects of spellcraft that I have never, ever worked with at all. I've no experience in this type of spellcraft. My experience involves crystals, candles, intention setting, petitions, things like that. Knot work is totally new to me. And imagine when you're setting your intentions and you're using knot work, you have to be so focused on what you're doing, it might amplify your intention. So I'm really excited about that. Really excited about that book. So that's one book that I purchased. So we're looking forward to reading that. There's another book that I was gifted very, very recently, which was given to me by a friend of a friend. So the book that it is, it's called Kabbalah Made Easy. Discover powerful tools to explore practical magic and the Tree of Life. And it's written by a British author called David Wells. Now, for those of you who don't know, and I can read a little bit, his professional bit on the back of the book, David Wells is an astrologer, past life therapist, author, and teacher. He studied the wisdom of Kabbalah for the last 25 years, and he now teaches it to others to help them make positive and powerful changes in their lives. The website address is on there, and it just so happens that David is a friend of a friend. So this book was gifted to me by him, and he's written a lovely message in the cover and signed it for me. So I'm really happy with this. Now, this is a topic and an aspect of spirituality that I have never, ever dealt with. And it's something that's very, very new for me. So I'm going to actually read this, and I might come back, once I've read it, I might come back and give a bit more of an in-depth discussion about it, because it sounds amazing. It sounds really good. It sounds like something that I would be able to incorporate into my spiritual life, my spiritual practice. And as we all know, my spiritual practice is a bit of a mishmash of a lot of different things. My spiritual practice incorporates a little bit of information from Wicca, a little bit of information from folk magic that's been passed down from my grandmother. I've sort of like, a bit like a squirrel, I've grabbed bits from everywhere and like hoarded it all and created this mishmash that's my own individual practice. that is based on various aspects of neo-paganism, nature-based worship, and things like that. And I've crafted my own spirituality since I was a teenager, since I was a child, really. So I'm really interested in this. I think Becca, I think Madonna's into Kabbalah spelt with a K as opposed to spelt with a Q. I think they're two different things. But again, I don't know much, so I'm going to have to read this. But it sounds really good. That involves practical magic and the tree of life. It says here that Kabbalah is a Western, non-religious, mystic tradition containing a body of magical knowledge and practices. It offers teachings on the creation, origin, and fate of the soul, the nature of divinity, and the role of human beings on earth, and includes meditative, devotional, and mystical practices such as astrology, tarot, and magic. So it's ticking all my boxes. It's giving me all the spiritual feels. So yeah, this was a gift, and I am so happy that this has been gifted to me because it's something new that I am going to be able to learn about, and I'm really excited to get into this. For those of you that are interested, it's published by Hay House, so I'm sure it's available on the Hay House website. So really happy about this book. I'm really happy about this gift. So that's cool. So I'm looking forward to that. And if anyone, once I've read the book, if anyone wants me to talk a bit more about it, then I definitely will do. Once I've read it and I've got a bit more of an understanding about it. And the final thing that I bought is my fiction. So I've never heard of this author before, and I've never heard of these books before, but I bought it because of a simple tagline on the box. So as you all know from my recent unboxing of the Tarot of the Enchanted Forest, I got all the fantasy feels from that deck. I was living for that deck, and I was so happy to have purchased it because it was some of the cards were throwing me back to teenage Dan, who's obsessed with this fantasy, obsessed with fantasy literature, wanting to live in a fantasy world where there were elves and fairies and sprites and dryads and, you know, dwarves and dragons and all these amazing fantasy creations. I would have loved to have lived in a world like that as a teenager, and that's where I used to escape. So yeah, I saw this, and I'll tell you, the books are called The Mortal Instruments, Shadow Hunters. So it's called Shadow Hunters, The Mortal blah, 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 blah. I was just about to say, I'll edit that out, but I can't because we're live. The books are called Shadow Hunters, The Mortal Instruments, and the author is Cassandra Clare. So never heard about her, never heard the author before, and I've never heard of these books. And there are 6 books in this series. They're called The City of Bones, The City of Ashes, The City of Glass, City of Fallen Angels, City of Lost Souls, and The City of Heavenly Fire. Now, the reason I bought this is because, I mean, look at the art on the box. He's so cool. He's actually quite handsome, and he's got an amazing tattoo down his arm. There's a bit of a glare because I'm not taking cellophane off yet, but he's super hot. And look at his tattoo. That's hot. And he's got a sword. People carrying swords are always hot. But there's a quote on the box, and it's a quote from Publishers Weekly, and all it says is, "Werewolves, vampires, angels, and fairies all fit in this ambitious milieu." I think that's the word, milieu. I think it means universe or world or creation. So that was like tick, 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 tick. All the feels that Dan's currently having with the Forest of Enchant, the Enchanted Forest Tarot. Buying those books, I'm going to read them. So that's my purchases at the moment. Oh, Becca's been held for review because she's swearing. Oh, naughty Becca. Naughty, naughty Becca. You want a close-up after the cellophane comes off? What, of the hot guy with a sword? Is that what you want, Simon? Do I need to take the cellophane off for us all to see the hot angel with a sleeve tattoo carrying a sword? Let's do that then. I'll take the cellophane off and we'll have a look. In fact, we can have a look at the covers of the books, because like I said, this is all new to me. This series of books is new to me. So let's get into this. Make me a mod so you can. Right, Becca wants to be a mod so she can swear. So, okay, let's make Becca a mod. How do I make Becca a mod? Oh, there we go. There you go, Becca. You're now a mod, so you can swear to your heart's content without getting blocked. So I think Becca's now a mod, so she's got modding privileges, so we all need to behave ourselves. That will put us in a timeout. Right, let's... Oh my god, do you know what? I saw this in the shop, and I was like, I need it. I haven't even looked at it properly. Right, let's look at it properly. Okay. Right, so on the box we have our hot... Where is he? There we go. Super attractive hot angel with his sleeve tattoo, holding his sword. Looks amazing. Oh, here he is as well. I think this is the same character, but he's got no wings. But is that... Oh my god. I think he's actually looking at a tarot card there. It looks like the Ace of Cups. He's actually looking at what appears to be the Ace of Cups. And then we've got this cool girl here with a magic wand. So that's the box that the books came in. Oh, the fact that I can't believe I did not notice when I bought this that there is a tarot card on the box. I mean, why? Here we are, totally judging a book. So Jen's just said that here we are, totally judging a book or a set of books by its cover. Hot angel indeed. But Jen, there's an angel without wings, his wings are not there, looking at tarot cards on the box art. Surely we should all be reading these books. Right, let's look at the covers of the individual books. Right, I need to do this in order because they're all in the wrong order. So here he is. Oh, it's apparent. Oh, dropping them everywhere. So it's on the New York Times best-selling series. And there's our angel. There's our dude again. And look at him. He's looking at the tarot. See, if I turn it that way, you can actually see it's like the Ace of Cups he's looking at. There he is. This hot sleeve tattoo. Right, so I don't know what the second one is. Oh, they've actually got numbers on, so that's handy. Right. Look at her. She's so magical with her wand. Oh, this is so cool. I know that we shouldn't just be going off the cover art, but it is very cool. And the cover art is going to be people from the books, surely. Surely they're going to be people from the books. That's number 6. Number 4. She's a bit dominatrixy. Look at her. With her whip and her tattoos and her voluptuous red lips. It's a very sexy picture. Oh, he's super hot. I think he's wearing leather pants. Do they look like leather pants to anyone? What do we all think about men in leather pants? He's got a bow and arrow. That's clearly hot. And this is the cover art of the last book. It's our super hot angel who was on the box. Right, what am I missing? I can see it's all been scrolling past. What am I missing with the comments? You love how excited I get. Why am I getting excited? What am I getting excited about? I don't know what I'm getting excited. You know about my books that I get excited about? I'm confused. Oh, Dustin's here. Hello, Dustin. Great interview, by the way. Amazing. Loved everything you were saying. I totally loved it. Like, yes, Queen, give us more of it, please. I'm already subbed to your channel anyway, so I can't resub to it. If I wasn't subbed to your channel, I would have still subbed to you after that interview. But let me try and scroll back through the comments. Why is Dustin talking about Andy sniffers? Who's been sniffing knickers? Oh, we're on about Becca again. What's she been doing now? Do you know what, Twist? I don't know. I've never. Oh, actually, no. I have worn leather pants once, but that's a whole other story for another time. It's way too early before the watershed for me to talk about when I was wearing leather pants. So yeah, we'll gloss over me and my leather pant wearing experience because it's not before 9 p.m. So I can't talk about that. How's that? No, pants are your like jeans are pants. Your underwear, right? Underwear is underwear. You wear it under the clothes that you're wearing, and pants are pants. You have like suit pants or suit trousers. You have jeans, they could be called pants. Chinos are pants. Leather pants, leather trousers. It's just another word for trousers, isn't it? No, not here. Pants is underwear. Really? I thought it was an interchangeable word. I've used it all the time. I'm confused now. But yeah, Twist, leather pants look really hot. But I've only worn them once. No. So your underwear are pants, but your things that go over your underwear are not pants. What's a slack? Leather slacks. Is slacks like an American term for trousers? I'm really confused. Well, no, that term, Simon, implies something very different. Has this just happened because Becca's come into the room? Like, I was showing some books, we were talking about nice things. However, I blame the cover art of the books that's caused this to slip into a different arena. But no, I'm really excited about the books. Super excited to get into them and start reading them. I don't know how I'm going to manage this all at the moment because I've got lots to read now. So yeah, oh, it's Dustin's fault this time. Well, thank you, Dustin, for causing the chat to nosedive into a blue topic. Right. So those are the books I wanted to show everybody. They're going to be really cool. I've missed loads of the chat, so I'm really sorry. But yeah, those are the books. So as a title, oh my god, we've been here 28 minutes already. How has that happened? I've not even got on to the actual topics I wanted to talk about. It's not an actual sherry glass, Simon. It's actually an espresso glass, but it's a perfect. It's sort of like a lungo size, so you could fit like a double espresso or a lungo in here. But it's perfect size for sherry or port, and it looks nice because it's glass and it's got this little metal handle with it. So yeah, the whole point of this chat was just to fill the airtime because Lisa's not here, and I was going to talk about witchy, tarot, and ghosty things. I think we'll tackle the last topic on the list first, ghosty things. So I know I've spoke before on some of my videos about experiences I've had with spirits and with ghosts. I've talked about encouraging spirit into the area where I was living before and requesting to see them, and family members or what I believe to be a family member come through in the form of a shadow person. I've been on I don't know the right term to use, like a ghost hunt or a ghost search, should I say? Various locations with various different groups and had mixed results. I've done Ouija boards, I've done seances, I've done human pendulums, and all had very mixed results. And I'm quite open to all of that. Now, when Lee and I moved into this apartment, we cleansed the apartment and did a home blessing ritual to try to protect the home and to protect our energy inside it, especially considering I like to do magic and like to invoke things. And Lee is only just getting into his witchy magic life. So I was like, well, let's do a home blessing, let's protect the house, let's, keep it safe. So that was done. And then about 3 weeks ago, yes, Simon, we do, and I'll touch on that in a second. But about 3 weeks ago, I was asleep in my bed, and for no apparent reason, I woke up at about 2 o'clock in the morning. There was no reason for me to. I wasn't going to work that morning. It was one of my days off, so I would normally sleep in. I woke up. I was wide awake at 2 o'clock in the morning. I was like, "What the fuck? Why am I awake?" I then rolled over. So I was facing the door when I woke up. So I rolled over to look at my clock, and I was like, looked at the clock. Went, "Oh, it's 2 o'clock. I'm going to go back to sleep." I closed my eyes, and I felt someone poke me in the back to the point where I was like, "Oh, what was that?" Being sort of just woken up, I brushed it off and thought, "Do you know what?" And then went back to sleep. Remembered it in the morning, but didn't think anything of it. And then since that happened, I started to hear knocks coming in and around the apartment. Um, Now, normally when you hear knocking noises, my first thought would be, it's winter. We've turned the central heating on. It's air in the pipes. I don't have gas central heating, so I don't have central heating systems. There's no water pipes that heat up and expand in the walls to keep the house warm. It's all done with electric wall mounted heaters that have filaments inside. So they smell of burning when you first turn them on. So there's no water pipes in the walls. The only water pipes are the cold water pipe that goes into the hot water tank, and the tank is then heated, and that's where our hot water comes from. And the knocks are not coming from that area of the house, they're coming from the bedroom area, so that these areas here. It's generally near the doors. It can happen when the doors are open, or it can happen when the doors are closed. I've heard it a few times when Lee's not been in the house. And then one evening, we were sat in the living room together, and we were just talking. There was nothing else wrong. And I hear the dun dun, and I was like, "Okay." I said, "Did you hear that?" And he's like, "Yeah, I did." And then, so I then explained to him, "I've been hearing it for a while." He's like, "What do you think it is?" I went, "Well, it could be anything, blah 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 blah." And then a few nights later, we heard some more knocking, and I said to Lee, "Maybe it's this." And he got a little bit freaked out. He's like, "Oh my goodness, how can it be that? We blessed the house." I was like, "There'll be nothing bad." He's like, "But I'm really freaked out. I'm not gonna be able to sleep." I was like, "Right, come on, let's go in. Let's sage your room. Here's a bit of black tourmaline. Sleep with it under your pillow. It'll get rid of anything negative around you. You'll be fine for the night." So he did that, and he felt a bit better about it. And we've not spoken about it since. That was last week. And then it happened again last night, a few knocking noises. It's nothing terrible, and there's no terrible energy in the house. So Becca's asked me, how old is my apartment? So the apartment was built about 10 years ago, but the apartment is built on the site of an old mill. There's been a mill on this site, I believe, from what I know, the Northwest was massive in cotton production during the Industrial Revolution, and a lot of large mills were built, and a lot of fortunes were made. And the site where I live is on the site of an old mill. So my apartment block is called Millside, and the block next to me is called Harper Mill, and it's been rebuilt to look like an old mill. But the old mill burnt down in 1999, and then the site was developed. But there was a millstone on here probably for a good 100 years, I would imagine. I need a bit more digging. I wanted to find a picture of the old mill to have in my living room and things like that. So yeah, I believe there's been a mill in this site more than likely for about 100 years. And the railway line is literally next to the site, which would be common because of mills. The canal is literally a few hundred yards down the road. It's a perfect place for a mill to be situated in the northwest, with the rail links and the canal links, like they would have been done. And there are a lot of towns all around Manchester that have mills all along railway lines and canal lines for that reason. So yeah, that's started to happen recently, and me and Lee were talking about it, and he was like, "But people who are sensitive to it generally attract it," and I think I agree. It seems like spirits are like moths to a flame for those that they notice are sensitive. So maybe the fact that we're living here now and are open to it, and that they can probably feel the fact that we've cleansed the air, we've blessed the house, means that they're coming through. So we'll see what happens. Generally, what you find as well is when you start talking about this, things start to happen. Nothing's happening at the moment. There's no knocking, there's no noise in the apartment, there's nothing going on. So that's my little ghosty story. So let's see what I have missed, because I can see the comments scrolling past. Let's have a look. So, how was my apartment? So, Twist had his first mediumship experience in September during a reading. Excellent, Twist. Ghost of Millie Vanilli. Who's Millie Vanilli? I don't know who that is. Is she someone famous? People used to say a headless horseman would ride through my old road towards the train tracks in Enfield, like they would hear horses and carriages in the early morning. Interesting. Naomi says she wondered if there are any interesting stories from the old mill. And that's what I need to start doing some digging about. I need to do a bit of research into the mill and the history of this mill, the family that owned it, because all mills were owned by different families, quite wealthy families. So I'm going to do some research into that. Al used to live near the famous the famous haunted house in Enfield. Before I was born, my house apparently needed to be cleared by a young girl spirit who kept waking my stepbrother to play. Wow. Yeah. And the twist. If you're I believe that everybody is sensitive to this. We're all sensitive to this. And as children, a lot of hear stories from every family has a story about a child talking to somebody, and they'll come out with a name of someone in the family who no longer is alive and who they've never known. I believe we're all sensitive to this, and you are able to grow and develop your skills in mediumship and clairsentience and things like that, and you're able to tap into that side of the world that's not always visible, that's hidden behind the veil. I think we're all able to do it, but you have to want to do it. You have to be open to it. If you don't want to be aware of it and want to close it off, you can shut that mental door and put the lock on it and say, no, you're not coming through. And why would a spirit want to try and contact someone that's not open to them? They're using so much energy to manifest on this plane. Why would they waste all that energy trying to get hold of someone or trying to contact someone that's not open to listening and that's not open to listening to what they've got to say and to tapping into that energy and to recognizing that energy? So yeah, I think we're all open to it and we can all access it. And I've talked about some of my experiences before, other things that have happened to me and the feelings that I've had. Terminal 3 at Manchester Airport is supposed to be haunted. Really, Naomi? Please tell me more, because I work at Terminal 3. That is where I work. That is my permanent place of work. I'm there all the time. So how is that supposed to be haunted? Come on, Naomi, tell a story. I need to know this. I'm just going to have a quick vape while Naomi types about what goes on at Terminal 3. Possibly, Robin, maybe something has picked me up at work, clocked me at work and gone, oh, I want to talk to him and follow me home. That's not unusual or unheard of. Spirits attach themselves to people. Thanks, Al. Maybe it's me who's haunting Terminal 3. If you're ever in Terminal 3 in the staff areas or out on the ramp, you will hear me shouting and wailing at my staff because they inevitably have done something monumentally stupid. And I'm telling them off in very choice language, shall we say. Obviously not what passengers can hear. But yeah, trying to keep my staff safe at work is a full-time job, because if I didn't keep an eye on them and didn't pay attention to what they're doing, a lot of them would end up as Spirit very, very quickly. So it's always fun and games. Thank you, Robin. That's very sweet of you to say. So, Naomi, come and tell us about. I'm dying now, Naomi, to hear about what is going on or what is supposed to be happening at Terminal 3, because I work there. I walk around that terminal all day at various times of the day and night. Ooh, okay. So, right, the smell of death. So in Terminal 3, you have, okay, this is starting to add up. Well, not starting to add up, but I can maybe shed a little bit of light on this. Terminal 3 is a mishmash of buildings sort of stuck together, and it sort of grew naturally, like Manchester Airport has grown naturally over the years. Terminal 3 used to be a domestic terminal, and then it became an international terminal that also accepts domestic flights, which is a pain in the bum because it's different security aspects, different channels, and bags have to go in different places. So we have two different baggage halls. Uh, yes, yeah, two different baggage halls for the terminal. One that deals with international, one that deals with domestic. And to get across from one to the other, you have to walk through a corridor, which is security doors into the corridor, and it's a corridor that passengers come into. Domestic passengers arrive through, then cross into. So from the international hall, baggage hall, you go through a security door into the passenger corridor where domestic arrivals come, and then into another door to that corridor. Then we go out, when I leave work, we walk out that corridor and out through domestic arrivals. And just as you get through that door into the baggage hall, there is a smell of death. Now, most of my colleagues say, "Oh, it smells like rotten, it smells horrible, it's this, it's that, it's this, it's that." It's not, it's a smell of death. And being a former police officer and dealing with multiple bodies over my career, I know what death smells like. I foolishly just wrote it off as it's probably a dead pigeon or something that's stuck in the baggage system, but the smell is so overpowering and so strong, and it is the smell of death, of a dead body. Why would a pigeon make such a smell? And it's been there for the past 6, 7 months that I've worked there. But I've never ever thought of it anything else until Naomi has just mentioned that. So I can corroborate the smell of death at Terminal 3 is real. And I know exactly where it is, but it's not there every evening. It's generally in the evening I smell it. And when I leave work, it's about 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. If I'm on a late shift, it's generally at that time that I smell it. And it's not there every single night. So that's really interesting. But there is a smell of death within Terminal 3 in the domestic arrivals. So yeah, there we go. So that's really cool. I'm gonna have to start being more open that at work. Because when I'm at work, I'm in work mode, I'm very focused. So now I'm gonna have to like sit there and open up. But yeah, I was like, now that Naomi's mentioned the smell of death, that was like, boom, that's where it is, Dan. You know where it is. You know what it is. And it's not the smell of a dead bird. It's the smell of a dead person. But there's no reason that would be there. And it would be there for months and months and months. So yeah, that is really cool. I need to do, that is amazing. That's so good. The fact I work somewhere where there's hauntings. Oh, I love it. Oh, what's that link? Elle, what's that link? Tell me out, because if I click on it, will it like disappear off my screen and stuff? I don't understand. Also, Simon did mention earlier on in the chat that we need to organise the collaboration between myself, him, and hopefully Becca in relation to a ghost investigation on YouTube. So I spoke about this with Simon when I was in the Hermit's Cave earlier this year. Yeah, at the beginning of this year, sort of March, April time, I popped down to the Hermit's Cave and we had a chat about this. And there's a particular place where I think we should go as spiritual people and do our own little ghost investigation. And we need to organise it because the place I suggested is a very famous location in the north of England that is haunted by the spirit. It's haunted by a spirit who manifests itself as a poltergeist. So there's poltergeist activity within this house, and it's renowned at being quite violent poltergeist activity, to the point where the owners of the property have point blank banned Ouija boards being used there because they are terrified of making it worse. There is also East Drive. Yes, Becca, it is East Drive. And I've been there, and I do not get scared by spirit easily, but it's the only place I've been where I've encountered spirit that's actually scared me. And East Drive is very, very frightening. And a lot happens. So when I went there, I'll give you a quick story then. When I went there with an ex-partner 2 or 3 years ago now. We went as part of, so there's we went there, and there was me, there was my ex-partner, and there were other people who also were organised for that evening, and we paid extra so we could stay the entire evening. So when you arrive at about 10 o'clock, and they ask you to be quiet because it's a residential house. It's a simple, normal 1960s semi-detached house in a 1960s estate. You go in, and the house is the house. It's just a normal house. It could be anybody's house. And I think that's one of the scariest things about it. Now, you're met by a guy from the company that organised all this, and he has his equipment with him, and he gives you a bit of a talk. You know, there's food to eat, there's drinks, and then you go around as a group and do these little things, these activities in the room, little seances, calling out, using the equipment, and things happening around you. Sometimes you went into a room and nothing happened. Sometimes you went into rooms and lots happened. And then you split up, and they get to do their own little things. You get to do things in different rooms. You can ask out. And then as the night draws to a close, around about 2 o'clock, the people who have just gone for the organised tour leave, and the tour guide basically says, okay, I'm going to lock the door now. It's on a catch. Just make sure when you leave that it's locked up. This is the key, and the key is posted back into the letterbox. And you need to be out by, I think it was 7:30 in the morning. And that was it. And then they just left us in the house. And there was me, my ex-partner, and these 2 ladies who had decided to stay overnight. And all I can say is, once the big group had left, things definitely ramped up. It's almost as if while the group was there, it's almost as if this spirit, and there was more than one. I think there was 2 or 3 spirits that were in the property, but there's one that was very overpowering. Um, and we were told by the guy that this spirit is a bit of a coward, and you can spend all night chasing him around the house. They believe it's a male spirit, and you can chase him around the house because he's a coward. He won't want to be confronted face to face, for want of a better term, and he only targets certain people. He goes after people that he thinks he can, because he's a coward. And while we were there that evening, it did feel like we were chasing him around the house. Things would happen very close, and then you'd go to look at them, and then something had happened. Where once everyone had left, it was just the 4 of us. He seemed to get more confident, and he was a lot. We didn't sleep at all. We did not sleep at all in the evening. We tried, but it was very like you'd be down. We decided to base ourselves in the living room, and we'd be downstairs, and then the tap would just turn on suddenly in the bathroom. So we'd be like, "Shit, the tap's just turned on." So we'd be like, "Right, we're gonna have to go upstairs. We're gonna all have to go together to turn the tap off." And then you turn the tap off, and you come back downstairs, and the lights were on in the living room, but the lights would be off. And you're like, and he's almost like he's. And then that had happened. Then 2 things had happened in different parts of the house. That he was trying to split you up. It was really freaky, really, really freaky. But when we were there, we did things like table tipping, trigger objects. It was amazing. Such a good experience. And I think a couple of us spiritual YouTubers should go and do a investigation as spiritual YouTubers. Why don't we go? Whoever's up for it, we'll take some cards, we'll take, some stuff that is going to be useful to us, crystals for protection. We've all got different skills to bring to the table, and we can record as much as we're able and allowed to, and basically do a little YouTube investigation. What do people think about that, based on the story of my experience at that location? So, I've forgotten your name. Is it Carola? Carola, the psychic knitter. The owner of the house. So this address is hugely famous in England. It was all over the newspapers in the 1970s. It was very violent, and the owner of the house is actually the person. The direct. So a film was made of the house based on the story. I can't remember the name of the film. I'm sure Simon knows what it is. But the owner of the house is the person who directed the film. He bought the house so that he could film the story, and decided to keep it, and realized there was a market for people who wanted to come and visit it. It's a haunted location, it's very famous. And he's the one who has this house and allows people to come and visit to experience it. I think actually the title of the film, I'm sure there's a British film, Becca. There's a British film by a British director, and I'm sure it's called When the Lights Go Out. Elle, are you able to check that for me? Or Simon, can someone check that on Google? I'm sure it's called When the Lights Go Out, and it's a British film. Being a British film, a little bit biased here, I prefer British horror to Hollywood horror, because I find British horror much more gritty than that. I find British horror much more gritty than Hollywood horror. But yeah, I think it's When the Lights Go Out, and the film's scary. Being there is much scarier, much scarier. So yeah, 2012 it was released. There we go. Thank you, Simon. I would recommend everyone watch it. And if there is an appetite for a couple of us on YouTube to put ourselves into a terrifying situation, and as I said, I don't get scared by spirit. It's the only time it's scared me. The only time it scared me. I'm more than happy for us to work out the logistics and go there. And I might get Lee to come with me because he'll be great to watch. And I know Becca would be great to watch as well. I will be totally chill. Well, I'll try and be chill. I'll try and be the level-headed one that's trying to communicate with them and challenge them. I don't know how other people would be, but yeah, who's up for doing it? Which YouTubers want to do it? Who wants to get involved? Because if we got a party together of 8 or 10 people, we would probably have the property to ourselves. I think they limit how many people come in. I think there was about 10 when we went. There was about 10 of us when we went. So Becca's definitely in. Simon's definitely in. I'm definitely in. That's 3. We need to sort this out, Simon. We need to figure out a way to work out who wants to do it, get a date together, and get this sorted. And we'll see what we can do, and we'll vlog as much as we can. Al, come along, Al. Why not? We can vlog as much as possible, and see what happens. I mean, I think we're allowed to record. So if anyone's got cool night vision camera equipment or anything like that, we could there might be orbs. Oh my god, this could be so good. This is amazing. I love it when stuff like this happens. Oh, Ozark, if you could hop on a plane, you'd be there in a heartbeat. I'm so sorry you're not here. The psychic knitter's not sure that she's brave enough for this one. Yeah, we are. We could do this we could make this once every 6 months, a little event. It'd be amazing. I'd love it because I think it'd be so cool because we could, imagine using the tarot to communicate with spirit in the house. How amazing that would be. I mean, someone who's a super proficient reader like Simon, who can read really intuitively, I think that'd be fantastic. I know Simon's clairsentient, like I'm clairsentient, but imagine what we could achieve from that. It just sounds amazing. And if we could video any part of it, even if we're not able to video in the property because of the rules, we could still video about our experiences afterwards. And it's going to be a long night because I doubt we'll sleep, but I think that'd be amazing. Simon, we need to talk about this after this live and start working out a way of either creating an event on Facebook and for the tarot community. I don't know how we're going to do it. We're going to have to figure out a way of doing it, of gaining interest, seeing how many people. I'll have to get some information and get some prices and stuff, and see what we can do. And it's about getting the organisation, logistics, of getting everyone together. So yeah, that sounds amazing. And using the tarot. I mean, that's the first time that thought has ever popped into my head of using tarot to communicate with spirit. There's no reason why it can't be used, and it could be used as talking to spirit. Tell us, spirit, what do you want to say? And using that to get them to communicate with us. Then asking another question and drawing again. Would that even work as a way to communicate with spirit? I mean, that could be just bonkers. This is just me thinking out loud. I do this a lot. I just think out loud. But Simon, do you think tarot could be used as a way to communicate? Yeah, definitely not too close to the Glastonbury meter. But yeah, we could do something in the spring, because when I went, it was October and it was really cold. Was it October? No, it was no. I think it was May when I went, and it was still very cold. The house was very cold anyway. The house was very, very cold. But yeah, we could this is so cool. Well, this would be amazing. So Ozak says that loads of people use tarot for spirit communication. It's something that I've never done. I've normally I've used seance and sensation, and I get things popping into my brain. So Robin, it's called East Drive, and it is in a town called Pontefract in Yorkshire, in England. The address is 30 East Drive, and it's very frightening. Oh wow, twist. That sounds a little bit uncomfortable to say the least. Yeah, but yeah, this is going to be amazing. I think we we'll definitely try and get something in the pipeline, and we'll definitely get something organised so that people who aren't able to come, and if we're able to film or what we can film, we will film whatever we can, and photograph what we can, and put together a video with everyone who's been, and share it with you guys so that you can all experience what we're going to experience when we go there. And if it works, there's no reason why we can't do it once or twice a year. You know, I love things like this. If I had time, I would go and do this every week because I thoroughly enjoy it. I get really tired afterwards. I'm always super drained because it is so mentally and emotionally exhausting. But yeah, there's no reason why we can't make this a thing. So if we're going to do it, let's start with like some massive and some spectacular, like 30 East Drive, and see how we fare after that, and see whether anyone else is up for it. So yeah, that sounds exciting. Um, well, guys, I've been on an hour already, and it has literally flown by. I feel like I've hardly read any of the comments. It feels like all the comments have been going past me so quickly, and we've just been talking about one or two things. I would love to stay longer. I really would. Before I go, is there any questions from anybody about what we've talked about? Because I've got to think about making my dinner and having a shower, and I need to be in bed in the next 3 hours. So if there's any questions, please put them in caps so I can see them, because I've missed all the chat. I'm going to have to watch this back to actually read the chat. But any questions, please let me know. And I promise you all that I will liaise with Simon and Becca and everyone else that's expressed an interest in doing the YouTube ghost investigation video. I'll definitely get that organised because that sounds like it'd be so much fun, and I would love to do it. Any new decks on the way? Oh yeah, we've not even talked about witchy stuff or tarot stuff. Not yet. Obviously, I'm waiting for the Bone Stone. Everyone's waiting for the Bone Stone, and I think we'll always be waiting for the Bone Stone. It seems like it's a common thing when we say any new decks on the way. I'm waiting for the Bone Stone. However, there's one deck that I am definitely feeling drawn to. Now, for those of you who know me and my deck preferences, I'm not an RWS purist. I don't usually go for pure RWS decks. I go decks based on the RWS system, but I'm not bothered whether cards don't subscribe to the traditional imagery or whether cards change names or structure. It doesn't bother me. But there is one deck that I keep seeing and I keep watching videos in relation to it. I love the artwork. I love the style of the artwork, but it's very, very. It would be my purest RWS. I would say. This Might Hurt Tower is really calling to me at the moment, so I'm very tempted to order the This Might Hurt Tarot and get that for myself, because I've watched a couple of videos about it and I keep looking at the images, going, I love these images. I could so work with this deck, and it'd be the purest type of RWS deck that I would have. So yeah, that's the deck that I'm thinking of ordering very soon. I'm probably going to wait until I get my gifts from my family for the holiday season, because chances are I'll get money, and then once I've got that money, I will probably purchase This Might Hurt Tarot, because it is really speaking to me. I am really wanting it, really craving it. So yeah, That's the deck that I am thinking about. But other than that, there are no more decks in the pipeline. There is, in fact, nothing to open in the future. There's nothing, no unboxings coming. There's no deck reviews coming, or anything like that. Oh, thank you, Twist. Thank you very much. Have a nice evening. I've unboxed and opened everything that I had. I have decks that I already opened that I could review, but at the moment, with obviously the holiday season coming up, things are going to get quite busy. I'll obviously have my regular Moonbox unboxing around about the 14th of December. It's usually between the 12th and the 15th of the month that will be opening up my Moonbox when it arrives. But other than that, there's not much else planned in the pipeline in relation to the channel. We'll just have to see what happens, what's going on, and if anything starts to happen in the house, ghosty wise or spirit wise, I'll obviously like to update you guys about that. So yeah, that's basically it for now. Is there any more questions before I go and make myself some dinner and start to wind down for the evening? Okay, if there are no more questions, I just want to say to you guys, thank you very much for stopping in this evening and letting me fill Lisa's slot as she is not here this evening. Ozak's going live in like an hour or an hour and a half if anyone wants to hang out. If I'm still awake, I'll pop in and say hello. Justin wants to know whether I'm a boxers or a briefs man. I'm actually a trunks man. So yeah. And Al says, thank you very much. She loved this chat. Well, that's good. We'll have more ghosty stuff going on. And I'll definitely... Pardon me. Simon, I'll drop you a glide. If there's a way to get a glide group together for starting to talk about this, that'd be amazing. So yeah, I'll drop you a glide after this to talk about East Drive. And if there's a way to get like Becca into it and all the different people into it, we'll have to think about how we're going to work around this and organize this, and I'll get quotes and stuff. But yeah, in that case, then everyone, it's 20 to 7 in the UK. I have to be up at 3:15 in the morning. I'm going to finish my sherry, make some dinner, and have a shower. So thank you very much for stopping by. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your Saturday, and have a great weekend. And think about me tomorrow when I'm at work and it's like -2, -3 outside, and I'm freezing cold. But take care, have a lovely evening, and bye bye.